Hello everyone, welcome back. Now today we're going to do a little bit different thing here. We're going to be doing a tier list. And if you know me, I am a Isekai trash connoisseur. So I've picked out, I went on my anime list and I went Isekai anime. And I went through like 100 and something different anime. Or I guess anime list separates it between seasons too. So I didn't put multiple seasons of the same anime on here, but I just put the anime itself. So, if like Konosuba has like a couple good seasons and a couple bad seasons, which I don't think it has any bad seasons, I'm only gonna do it as a whole. But this is like I've watched all these isekais, so I can put them on a tier list. So yeah, let's start out first. So I want to go ahead and get my S tier, one of my favorites up there. And again, you guys might not think it's the best, but I like Isekai. And I'm going to say that Konosuba is an S tier Isekai anime. I mean, the story is good, I feel like. It has comedy. The animation is really good in it. I like it. And it's just neat. I love it. So, Konosuba's blessing on this world is I'm going to put S tier so far. And this will probably change as I put stuff up here. Because I might say, let's go another one that I like. Okay, the Cautious Hero here. So, I think the Cautious Hero is really good. But I don't think it's S tier. I think it might be A tier. I really like the story. And if you just watched a couple episodes into the Cautious Hero, you might say, oh, it's like an E tier, or might even say it's trash. But if you watched it to the end and you know the story, then, kind of like I did, you probably would say it's like A tier, possibly B tier. I'm going to say it's A tier right now. And I don't know if I want to talk about much of the Cautious Hero, but like it kind of is sad if you kind of watch it. It's kind of a melancholy. But it has a really, really good ending. And I need to read the manga. But let's continue on. So, let's do a trash one, okay? Conception, okay? If you have not watched Conception, don't watch Conception. It was not worth my time, I don't think. And basically the premise is that he has to conceive star children, I think that's what they're called, with young maidens, and use them to fight. It was trash. I'll say it's trash. If I didn't have someone else watching it with me, I probably wouldn't have made it through. So, Conception, let's put it there in the trash. It's probably not going to get out of the trash. Okay. So, No Game, No Life. No Game, No Life only got one season. Sad. I wish it would have got more. I really like the concept for No Game, No Life. I really like the character styles. The colors are a little much. I think there's a little too much like pink and like really vibrant colors. It kind of hurts your eyes, for my taste at least. But I love the concept of like playing games to do stuff in the world. This one we will put on. If I had a tier right between A and S, it would probably be there. Because it's not... It's above Cautious Hero, but it's not as good as Konosuba. Let's put it A tier. And there might be a lot of stuff at the top, because I really like Isekai anime. Okay. Okay, Reincarnated as a Slime. Reincarnated as a Slime is just a great anime altogether. Has lovable characters, has a fairly good story, some comedy and stuff like that, and it's on running. It's got a lot of seasons. Most of the seasons are really good, and I do like the slime aspect. So I'm gonna put Reincarnated Slime as an S tier. I don't know how I feel about with No Game, No Life. They're pretty with my taste, I like them both almost the same. But since No Game, No Life only got one season, even though it's a good season, I think Reincarnated Slime is probably going to be better. Okay, so Demon Lord Retry. Let's put it So this is another reincarnated world where I think he reincarnated as his video game character, and it is, it's all right. So C tier, I feel like it kept me watching, but I did not really enjoy it that much. Like, it is watchable, I feel like C tier is, and everything above that is pretty good. Demon Lord Retry, it kept me watching. I finished it. And I kind of enjoyed it. So I'll put it to C. It could possibly be a D tier, but I'll put it at C. I do like the characters in it, and his character is like a cool, nice, like, dressed man, so. ReZero. ReZero is good. I don't know if it's S tier. ReZero is really good, and I loved it when it came out. And I like the concept of it. I don't like Subaru that much, and after he chose Amelia over Rim, I did kind of hate him a little bit. I think it might be below No Game, No Life for me. Might be. And, no, the new season was good, though. The newest one. Like, I like the first season. I liked quite a bit of it. It might be... Let's put it right now. We'll put it above No Game, No Life in A tier. And that might move up to S tier, depending on how many S tier ones I have. Okay. Reincarnated in a world with my smartphone. It's better than Demon Lord Retry. And it's nowhere near as good as the A rank ones. It kept me watching, and I did like it. I did like the characters, and it just looks nice. The story itself is kind of bland. That's the main problem with it. So we'll put it at B tier. I don't know if there's going to be any D or E tiers. I think I'm either going to be like, I liked it enough to keep watching, or it's trash. So, so I'm a spider, so what? This is, if you just look at the spider aspects of it, whenever it's like the main character talking, it would be an A tier. But it has a lot of human interactions, and the human stuff is very boring. Very, very boring. So it will be at a high B tier. It's a high B. It could be a low A, but with the human aspects, it kind of just, it goes down. If you've watched it, like, any of the spider parts are good. Whenever it's her going around, like, leveling up inside that, it's cool watching her interact with the environment, I guess. The human stuff is very boring for me. That's what brings it down. Familiar Zero. It is probably one of my first isekais to watch. And I recently did a rewatch of it. So I have, like, a better view of it now. And it has a lot of anime tropes. It has very likable characters. I liked all the characters in it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It is definitely better than... It's better than In Another World of Smartphone. And since the human aspects, it's better than the spider. It's not as good as the Cautious Hero. Not in my mind, it is not. But I don't know. It might be an A tier. Let's leave it B tier right there. And I think I want to move it to A tier, but we'll just leave it there for now. I have a little cheat sheet here. Let's do By the Grace of the Gods. Where is that at? Right there. So, a guy gets reincarnated in another world. He's a child, and he tames slimes. And he uses them to do, like, tons of different stuff. Like, he even makes a laundry mat with slimes to clean stuff. It's kind of cool. It kept me watching. It's better than Demon Lord Retry in my mind. It's... you know, In Another World with my smartphone, I want to bring down to C tier now. Okay. We'll bring In Another World with smartphone down to C tier below By the Grace of the Gods. By the Grace of the Gods are just really cute. I really like how the characters are. The characters are all really nice. I like slime anime, so slime isekais. You can see reincarnated as a slime if they're in S tier. I just can't put... Oh, maybe I... Did I like it better than Spider? No, Spider was better with the spider parts. Let's put it at B tier. I can't put it at C tier. I enjoyed it. Let's do one that I just recently got finished with. This one is Reincarnated to Another World for a Second Time. I think that's the name. Summoned to Another World for a Second Time. Yeah. It was alright. It was kind of bland. The story, I wish he would have started out as his first, because he gets summoned to the world the first time and does all this amazing stuff, becomes a hero and whatnot. Then he gets back to the real world, and then him getting transported there for the second time is where we start in. And we don't really know anything about his other adventures other than what he tells us. And I feel like that kind of brings it down. But it is not, it's not a C tier. It's probably a B tier. And I liked By the Grace of Your Gods better. Even though I did like the characters and stuff like that, and Summoned to Another World for a Second Time, the story itself was not great. It didn't really tell much of a story. It was just them coming back and seeing characters that he knew, which we had no connection to at all. So I feel like it kind of loses out there. But I did like it. It wasn't like a, oh, I kept watching one. In another with my smartphone, I kind of just kept going because I'd already watched a season. Or, was it the third season I watched? Or is it second season? I don't know. Ooh. Isekai Quartet, okay? Isekai Quartet. It has all this, like, if you haven't seen it, it has Konosuba, it has Overlord, it has ReZero, and it has Tanya the Terrible, or Tanya the Evil in it. It has all those characters and little chibi world, and it is just good. Ooh. Let me lay it down there and let me think. So, it does not have the serious elements of ReZero, but it does have all the other characters in it. And I like the characters, and I like the interactions between them. And, but what aspects of it do I like? Because it's a kind of a cheap knockoff of the originals, so I put it down here. Maybe an A rank? Because it's definitely better than all of the... Well, No Game No Life, I don't know for sure if it's better. It's not as good as ReZero, but it's not below, like, any of these. Let's leave it right there behind ReZero. What is this one's name again? It's like Ragnarok something. Master of Ragnarok, Blesser in Herjar? Blessings of Ragnarok, let's just skip to that. It was one that I watched. It was not that great. I felt like there was a lot left out that we did not get explained, and I did not understand much of it. But because of the characters, I did like the characters. So it will go there. It might actually be behind Demon Lord Retry. Yeah, I kept watching it, but it was one of those that it was not that great. I might have been missing out. The manga might be better for it, but this is just purely on the anime. We need another S rank one, and I know what we're gonna put in S rank. Okay, it's gonna be Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnations. It is probably one of the best storytelling in anime I have seen, and it is better storytelling than Konosuba, Reincarnated Slime, anything. It's the best storytelling out of all of these, I think, that I've seen at least. Yeah. The only problem is he's kind of an incel, and he kind of like doesn't respect women that much, just like that. But he does grow. Okay, he does grow. He's kind of creepy, but he does grow. His character's changing all the time. Best storytelling, I said. Newest season here, I'm liking it really great right now. I think it's better than Reincarnated Slime. I don't know for sure. It and Konosuba might have I like Konosuba's comedy. The comedy in Konosuba is god tier. We'll leave it right there. We'll have to mess with it later. Reincarnate is a sword. We're getting a lot of reincarnation animes here. Reincarnate as a sword is better than Summon to a World for a Second Time. I don't think it's as good as... Well... It might be better than By the Grace of the Gods. In my mind, like, I like cute stuff, okay? I like the cute aspects of By the Grace of the Gods. No, okay, I'm gonna leave By the Grace of the Gods ahead. There's gonna be a lot of B tier stuff. I think this one's like killing a... I've been killing slimes for 300 years to max out my level. I actually did not finish this, okay? I watched quite a bit of it, but it's not trash, okay? It's not trash. I did drop it, but it's not trash. I did like quite a bit of it, but it just was not... Storytelling was not that great. Characters were kind of... they were alright. There were some likable characters. But I'll put that in D rank. I'm not going to put an E, and it's not trash. But it's... I almost kept watching it. Where is... Oh! Here's going to be another S rank one, okay? The Eminence and Shadow, okay? It is great, okay? If you kind of hate anime tropes or something like that, or you like stuff that makes fun of anime tropes and everything like that, you will like Eminence and Shadow, because it kind of makes fun of the anime tropes that we all know and some of us love. And also, it's a power fantasy. I like power fantasies. And Eminence and Shadow, I liked it better than Reincarnated as a Slime. That might be a hot take. I don't know how many people like Reincarnated as a Slime, but Eminence and Shadow, I've heard a lot of people like it, and I liked it quite a bit. I was excited for every episode. It is not better than Mushoku Tensei, and it's not as good as Konosuba, but I do want to move Mushoku Tensei up. I feel good with that right now, for right now. So Eminence and Shadow is going to be an S tier. I might need to make it like a S plus tier. I don't know. We'll see. I think this one's called Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Yes. So this one is kind of like Konosuba, as in the joking manner. It is not as good as Konosuba, though. I will put it in B tier. And not B tier, sorry, A tier. I don't think it was as good as Cautious Hero. Or it might have been. It might be better than that. It's not as good as these other ones. It's not as good as No Game No Life. Cautious Hero is getting kind of pushed back, but it's still good. All the stuff in A and S are good stuff. It's just, they get pushed back. Yeah, Compatibility Dispatch, it's very comedy-based, and this guy gets brought to the world. It's not even kind of an isekai. It kind of is, but... This guy gets brought to this world to spread evil, I think. He's like by like an evil company or something like that, and he's trying to do that stuff. It's hilarious. I liked it. Ooh, I don't really know how to pronounce this one very well. Let's just call it Rise Up. It's a wrestling one. Let me see. Kimono Michi Rise Up. So, this one is also a very good fun, comedy one. I really liked it. This guy is a wrestler who gets summoned to the world, and I think they want him to try to be a hero. But he just wants to be a wrestler, and he just ends up wrestling, and he really likes wrestling beast people because they're nice and fluffy and he wants to touch them. Which I understand, seeing like beast girls and stuff like that. I mean, he kind of likes the very furry ones, so like that's not really my thing, but like a nice cat girl is nice. It is in probably the B tier. It is above a lot of stuff. Yes, I'll put it above Soma Spider So What, and between that and Familiar Zero, because Familiar Zero was good. It is a high B tier. It almost gets up into the A tier, and it might. But yeah, even if you don't like wrestling, I'm not a big wrestler. I don't watch any wrestling. One of my friends does wrestling, but I recommend it to him. I don't know for sure if he ended up watching it, but all the characters in it are like great. I like the characters. And he also has a little dog that he wrestles. Like, he doesn't wrestle with, but he has a little dog. It's nice. Which one's this? Okay. So, from commonplace to the world's strongest. I don't know how to say the first word of that. But this one here. It is one that starts out very, very low in my thing. Like, whenever I first started watching it, it would have been probably maybe high C. It's kind of nice, but it goes up to a B tier for me. So he starts out in the world, and I think he's like he can like do alchemy. I think he can transmute stuff, and it's not that great of a skill for fighting. And he ends up getting brought to like the lower levels of a labyrinth, like where like everything's like tons of levels ahead of him. Like, imagine you went from like level 1 area to like a level 50 area, and you just like get one shot. That's kind of like the area he was at. And he ends up surviving by like eating some random crap like foods and meats and stuff like that, and like gaining their traits. And it turns into a good one. I like the characters in it. It's better than Reincarnate as a Sword. It's better than like, Graced by Gods. It is better than Soma Spider So What because of the human aspects. I am alright with leaving it there, because it's behind Kimono Ichi Rise Up. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of B. Okay. Reincarnated as a Vending Machine. This is one that this season is coming out. It's airing right now. It is actually better than I thought it was going to be. Is it still going to be up here? Yes, it's going to be in B tier. It's going to be a low B tier. I think it's going to be the last one of the B tier. Because it's interesting enough that I keep watching and I kind of like it, but it's barely above keep watching. Like, it's one of those that it's an interesting concept, how he he doesn't move in the world. He can't even talk to people except for like predetermined phrases that a vending machine could say. So it's like playing in an Isekai on hard mode. And I kind of like it. It's not as good as any of these other ones, and yeah, let's just leave it at that. And there's a talking bear. Okay, there's a talking bear. It's great. And the girl that carries him around, is she just like a saint? So, Reincarnated in the World's a vending machine. What's the actual name for it? Reborn is a vending machine, and now I wander the dungeon. You don't wander the dungeon, sir. You just sit. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, I might just, like, kind of make up a name for them that's kind of the name, but not really. Because people just know this is Reincarnated as a vending machine, so. Ooh. Okay, which one is this? Uncle from Another World, yes. Uncle from Another World is very funny. It is a comedy, and it is about a guy, yeah, he's kind of a guy, and he gets, not reincarnated, he gets teleported to another world, and he kind of lives out a life there, and then he gets teleported back to the real world, and he can still use his magic, and he has his memories from the world, and he is telling his nephew the stories from the world, and he is very dense. Because there's a lot of girls in the other world that were, like, really into him, even though they called him Orc Face, I think, because he's kind of an ugly, pardon my French, ugly bastard. But he's not that bad. But that's what you kind of think of. And it's funny. It's very funny. I'm going to put it in front of Isekai Quartet. Isekai Quartet's very good, but I did like Uncle from Another World. If you want to watch it, go ahead. I would recommend it. I'd recommend most of these. Like, I would recommend A and S tier 100%. B tier to a certain point I would recommend. And everything below that is just kind of like if you just want to watch stuff. But yeah, Uncle from Another World is... I laughed quite a bit in it. It's cool. It's interesting, like, seeing his stories and how he tells them, and also how dense he is. So it's pretty funny. This one is Grimoire, right? Grimoire, Ashes, and Illusions. It's been a while since I watched this one. I don't remember when it came out. It is it's not really memorable. I remember some people die. Spoilers. But I'll be honest, I don't really remember... In Another World with my smartphone, I don't really remember it either. Other than the fact that I watched the newest season just recently. Also, at the time I was watching it, I was kind of watching just a lot of crap. I mean, if you guys have watched, like, this isn't an Isekai, but, like, Punchline, this was the time that, like, Punchline was coming out. I think I watched this. It might have been later. But, like, Punchline I watched, and it's not the greatest. The whole aspect of it is, like, oh, if this guy sees a girl's underwear, the world will explode. That was the concept of it. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting, because I've never heard of something that weird. But... okay, back to Grimoire, Fantasies and Ash, or whatever, Illusions. It'll be a high C tier. That is because I don't really remember it that much. I remember I kind of liked it, and I remember more than, like, these other ones, but it'll just be a high C tier. Okay, this is the villainous one. What was it called? My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. This was an interesting thing, because it is a girl that gets put into a video game that she played, her virtual novel, I think. Or not her virtual novel, but a virtual novel she played. And it was basically about romancing different characters. And the character she gets put in as is the villain of the whole story. And she tries to not get, like, I think in the game she can get killed, like the villainess gets killed at some points and gets put in jail and, like, all this other bad stuff. And she's trying her best to not get any red flags or doom markers or something like that. And she ends up romancing everyone. Like, the guys, the gals, everyone. And she turns this game into her, like, it's awesome. It's an awesome life. She even, like, farms. I mean, I like gardening. It is going to be high for me. I actually like it more than Familiar Zero. I like the concept of it better. It might be an A tier. Just like by the description I gave, you can tell that I like it quite a bit. I don't know for sure if it should be in B tier. I think it should be A tier. Because it's better than those. I might as well put it up here. Yeah, let's do that. Like I said, this is to be changed later if I have something else. Is this Wise Man's Grandchild? This is Wise Man's Grandchild. Yep. Wise Man Grandchild is kind of a sleeper anime. I did not like it that much. I finished it just because there wasn't a lot to watch that season that I had to watch. It's better than that. It's probably better than that. Not by much. Yeah, let's put it there. I don't really know where to put it because I don't really remember much from it. Yes, it's behind Reborn as a Vending Machine. That's probably going to be very stupid for everyone to think, but like I think it was better. Like Reborn as a Vending Machine was better. And I mean, I haven't finished Reborn as a Vending Machine. It's still going on, so I mean, it could possibly be moved down depending on how this goes. But I think it can only go up from here, and I think it should go there. Ooh, okay, let's do Gate. Okay. Gate is a very interesting anime. So, if I remember correctly, a portal, or as they call it, a gate, opens up in Japan to a fantasy world. And it becomes the point where the Japanese government is sending stuff in there, like tanks and jets, and they make military bases, and they're trying to like interact with the inhabitants, and it's kind of cool. I really like it. It is definitely in a B tier. It's up in the B tier. Ooh. I think it's high B tier. It's been a while since I've watched it. All the characters are likable. I really love the concept of it. It might go A tier. You know, it's A tier. I don't even have to think about that much. I think it's better than Combatants Will Be Dispatched. But it's funny, okay? I should do a comedy anime tier list, because this is just like I'm sitting here thinking, oh, this one made me laugh quite a bit. Like kind of like Combatants Would Be Dispatched and Konosuba, but are they really better in a storytelling aspect? Combatants Will Dispatch is not a great storytelling, it's just funny, and the characters are likable and it has good designs. That's about it. But Gate is a better storytelling. I'm pretty sure I've laughed quite a bit in it. I think I laughed when they put a jet against a dragon and the dragon just got wrecked. I don't think it's better than No Game No Life. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. I like the idea of No Game No Life, I think, better. Even though, yeah, let's leave it at that. Gate's really great. I need to rewatch Gate. Let's do another kind of sleeper anime that I was kind of, It was alright. Death March in Another World, I think this is called. Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. I don't remember much on this. I really don't. I know a guy dies. I think he dies at his like, computer desk or something like that. And, like, he gets reincarnated in this world, and that's about all I remember from it. I know I liked it. It was better. I think it was better on all these. Yeah. Did I like it better than Reborn as a Vending Machine? Oh, this might need to be re-edited. Maybe Reborn as a Vending Machine. No. This should go into B tier, because C tier is I just kept watching, even though I didn't really enjoy it anymore. I was invested as C tier. This one... Let's put Death March to Parallel World Rhapsody. We'll put it right above Summon to a World for a Second Time. But behind, well... I think it's better than Reincarnate as a Sword. Reincarnate as a Sword, I think I just like it because of the cute girl. She was really cute and sweet. Yeah, let's put Death March right there on B tier. We need to put another something in like S tier or A tier. Let's put Overlord somewhere. Okay. Overlord is probably one of my favorite isekais, right next to like Konosuba and all these up here in S tier. It is one of my favorites. I really like all the characters, and it's very dark. It's a power fantasy like I like. And the only thing that brings it down is the animation for the 3D army. Like, if you haven't watched it, there is a scene where there's a goblin army, and I don't think that's terrible, but I know it's bad. I could watch it and I didn't like care that much. I thought it was still cool. And then there's also a time where he destroyed a whole army with like these big goat things. That was also kind of bad. So the only thing that brings the Overlord down is because of the animation. And the animation in it is good other than those instances that I remember. It might be a low S tier because of that. And that kills me. But then if I put it in S tier, ReZero should be moved up. Because ReZero had really good animation, really good characters and everything. Maybe I should switch them. This kills me. Yeah, let's put ReZero as an S tier, I guess. Because I cannot put Overlord in S tier because of those animations. I really can't. ReZero has not had anything like that as far as I know. And Overlord can't be over ReZero because of that. It can't. I need to read the light novel for Overlord. Because I'm sure that will be better than the anime. Because I won't have to worry about any of the animation. Saga of Tanya the Evil. It is good. Where would I put it? I really like the dark aspects of Tanya. And it's kind of interesting. I like the kind of World War II... is it World War II or is it World War I? I think it's World War I. I think that's kind of where the time period is, even though it's not based in our world. It's not over Isekai Quartet. I think Isekai Quartet's better. Or should it be lower because it's not better than the original? Let's move that. It's not better than Uncle from Another World. Okay, we'll put Tanya there. I'm really excited for when they finally make another season of Tanya the Terrible. Hi, why did I say terrible? Tanya the Evil. Golly. Because she's basically, yeah. Let's do, I think this is Outbreak Company, right? Yeah, Outbreak Company. Basically, it's kind of like Gate in the aspect that they get transported to another world and stuff like that, and I think there's a guy that ends up becoming like an envoy for the Japanese world and stuff like that there, and he ends up like teaching them about anime and manga and stuff like that. And I think they end up making money by like importing manga to the world. I'm pretty sure that's like a plot aspect. And he ends up at the very end, I think, teaching them how to make manga, and it turns into like that world starts making more manga than Japan. I'm pretty sure, and they start exporting manga to Japan, making money. I'm pretty sure. That's kind of funny. I think I remember more of it than Death March. It's not A tier, it's B tier. Better than By the Grace of the Gods, but worse than Spider. Even the human aspects. Let's put it there. It's kind of interesting. I need to watch Outbreak Company again. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Do I want to... It's an A tier. It's kind of funny. It's kind of ecchi too. It's better than Cautious Hero, I think. It's not as good as any of those. It's not better than Gate. It's better than Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Yeah, I'm good with it there. I think the first season was really good. The second season was a little bit worse, I think. I think it's a little bit worse. I'd have to watch them again to make a real idea. Ooh, okay. Here's one that I kind of did not watch whenever it came out, but ended up being good. So this one's like Magical Revolution. Yeah, the Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and blah, blah, blah. Very long name. If you do the Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess, you'll get it. There's nothing else that has a name like that. It was not a C tier. It's probably a B tier. So I'm pretty sure it was a guy that reincarnated as a girl, and then he ends up trying to get with that white-haired girl. I'll be honest, the very beginning of it is not that great, but it gets better. It's kind of like Soma Spider, So What? It's about at that level. But I think the spider parts in Soma Spider So What makes up for it. Yeah, we'll leave it there at B tier. Like a mid B. Let's get some of these other ones that were kind of lesser known. What was this one's name again? Ah, there it is. Isekai Cheat Magician. Yeah, another B tier. I kind of enjoyed it. But it's not as good as some of these. It's kind of a lower B. I hate putting some of these in B tier because some of these are good. Like, I like Rise Up and Familiar Zero. They should probably be an A tier. But we can't put everything in A tier. Because there's parts of it that are not great. This one is... This guy, like, rebuilds a kingdom. What was it called again? How a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. It's kingdom building. That's basically all it is. I mean, if you like someone like doing government and building up cities and building different things for a city and like doing economics and policies and whatnot, you'll like it. It was kind of a sleeper for me. I kept watching. It is not as good as In Another World's a Smartphone. I'll put it back there in like mid-C. I want it to be better. I want it to be better, but it's not. This one's like Harem Labyrinth in Another World or something like that. It's Harem something. Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World. That's what it was. It's ecchi. That's the only reason why it's getting higher than it was. The characters, on the other hand, were kind of shallow. They were mostly for their bodies. I kept watching because of the ecchi aspects of it. It is a high C tier. You're probably thinking I'm going to put it in a D tier, right? No. It's ecchi. It has girls that are kind of like scantily clad and like that. The only aspect I don't like is they're like slaves. He buys them. Like, that's one of the main problems with isekai anime. Is like they always have to add like buying people in it. Add slavery, which I understand, like medieval world kind of thing. It's a different world, but it kind of, I hate speaking up for it because of that. And so far, I think he only had 2 girls on here. It's not really that great. It's other than like being ecchi, it's not that memorable. Maybe I should move it down. Because I actually remember more of these than I do of it. I just remember boobs on there. So we'll put Harem Labyrinth in Another World at like the mid-C range. We're getting close to being done, finally. I don't know how long this video is so far, but it might be longer. This one is My Isekai Life. I gained a second class character class and became the strongest in the world. I think that's what it is. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I'll admit. It's probably up here in the B rank. I was kind of excited to see episodes. He was a smart guy. He's kind of like the cautious hero, other than the fact that he's not cautious. I remember more than Isekai Cheat Magician. I don't think it's better than By the Grace of the Gods. Why is By the Grace of the Gods being like a big barrier? Because everything beyond that, I don't think is that great. By the Grace of the Gods, up is basically the stuff that I think is good and you should watch. Because this guy here, the second class skill, Sage, become the strongest Sage, I think that is. He gets, like, he ends up taming some slimes, a wolf, other stuff. He ends up killing a lot of stuff. He's just very smart, and he does everything smart, I guess. I don't have much to say more about that. Okay, so let's do Rising the Shield Hero. Rising the Shield Hero is one of these that I don't know where to put it. Because the first season of it, like, it kind of pulled you in because he was very hated because of the lying trash person that we will not name by just Princess, I guess. Trash Princess. she lied, said that he tried to force himself on her or do something else, and she's just horrible. So he's like an outcast, and he ends up buying a slave, Raftalia, kind of like all isekais have slavery in it. And Raftalia's a good girl. I like Raftalia. I like the main character. I forgot his name. Nazume or something like that. Not. It starts with an N. It is not. It might be just above Gate for me. It's good, and I was excited to see it, and there are good parts in it, but it's not consistently good. I'll say that. Everything above Gate is consistently good. But I think it's better than Gate, so we'll put it right there. And the newest season was kind of alright. It wasn't great. The animation was not really good for that big turtle they had, the world turtle or something. And there's a lot more we don't know, so. Nothing in E rank so far. Maybe this will change it. What was this one's name again? The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated. This one I thought was good. I thought it was good. This was another one kind of like a second class skill where he is smart, but it's better. It might be right there. So yeah, he's a assassin that gets reincarnated in the world to kill the hero. I think right there would be good. So he gets reincarnated by a god to kill the hero of the world because the hero is going to turn evil. I think that was the main thing. And some of the funny aspects here are that you see some of the other people that the god has reincarnated to the world. Like they did like a strongest warrior, the strongest whatever. And all of them ended up not finishing up with the assassination or killing. So he is brought there to try to kill the hero. So he gets reincarnated as a baby with good skills and everything like that. And he's working his way up to kill the hero, basically. And I like the characters in it better than... Oh. It might be better. Yeah, I like the better than those characters. Maybe. Maybe. Okay, that seems better. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. That looks like all of them. Let me make sure that I don't want to move anything around. So let me look. Mushoku Tensei, you guys might not think it's in it, like a top S tier, the best one out of these. Eminence of Shadow might be... No. I like the storytelling. Storytelling is better in Mushoku Tensei. Konosuba about all them. Reincarnated as a Slime, I think is better storytelling. Well... Yeah, let's do that. ReZero is probably better than Reincarnated as a Slime. Overlord, I'm sorry you're an A tier. You should be an S tier. You could be the lowest S tier, but with the animation, I can't put you above some of these other ones. I kind of hate that Reborn as a vending machine is in B tier. I kind of wanted it to be a C tier. But it fits. It fits. We have a lot of C tier ones. It was hard putting them in an order here. Conception's the only one I said that was trash. And I even finished Conception. I didn't finish... I got my max level up by killing slimes. I didn't even finish that, and I thought it's better than Conception. The Harem Labyrinth one, that one, the only reason why it's in C tier is because it was kind of hot. Yeah, I feel alright with this. There might be some other things I might have changed. But for now, that is good. I might have to do another one of these because like every season we get more isekais. And like these are only the ones I have watched. Like there's more out there. And there might be a couple that I did not watch that were good. But this will be my definitive tier list. So the top 5 are like Mushoku Tensei, Konosuba, The Eminence of Shadow, ReZero, and Reincarnated as a Slime. Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you guys want to watch any of these, I would recommend anything from By the Grace of the Gods on. Everything below that, I mean, is kind of just if you want more Isekai, which if you get kind of addicted like I did, you might want to. I would not recommend Conception unless you just want to watch trash. So, thanks for watching, everyone, and I will try to do another tier list. I'll try to do some anime tiers. I saw an Avatar tier list one, so I might have to try to do it. But I'll try to do a few more tier lists because I do enjoy these. It was actually easier to make than I thought it was going to be. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.